So I covered the living shift out of Black Clover and I gave my final thoughts about the show. Now I wanted to move on to something else. So I decided to review Jujutsu Kaisen. After that I will cover a show from your guys' choice. There is a lot of hype surrounding this anime. Some call it the next big thing, others call it one of the new big three. It has a great power system, man. Dude, the animation is crazy. It's really good, okay? You have to watch it. And I'm like, alright, now everybody calm that talk. I will watch it, okay? Let's see what all this fuss is about. Is Jujutsu Kaisen that good? Is it worth all the hype? Is it gonna take over the spot of one of the new big three or whatever that crap is? I was already super excited before I even start watching the show. So without further ado, let's start this Jujutsu Kaisen review. Cue the intro. The anime start with one of the scene of Limitless. It was like, you know how I got here? As the protagonist is tied up to a chair while being what appears to be an interrogation. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw this, I thought it would be explained way later in the series. However, everything was revealed at the second episode. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The scene then transitioned to the main character visiting his grandfather in the hospital. Then they start teasing each other. Yep, they have that kind of relationship. This show will love to mix some comedy every now and then, which is a good way to break up the tension. And jokes are pretty decent. Then we had our first look on a guy called Megumi investigating a cursed object. Then the show established the base power of the main character. Yeah, you can already tell he's not an ordinary person. I think this is a great way to start building up the protagonist, not just his power, also his personality as well, as he chose to be in a cult club despite his physical strength. Then Megumi ran into Yoji, yeah, that's his name, and what do you know, the cult club had the curse object that he was looking for. How convenient. This anime gave me a very similar vibe to Noragami and Blue Exorcist, with how the curses are born and how they look like. It's like they married Hunter x Hunter and Jujutsu Kaisen is their baby. Then Yoji's grandfather passed away and told him not to be like him and not to die alone and help others. Yoji's reaction to his grandfather's death was pretty cold, but he explained that his grandfather would have not liked to see him moping. But still, not a single tear? What the heck, man? After that, Megumi told Yoji about the curse object and explained to him and to the audience what curses are. He told him to hand over the curse object, however Yoji said it's no longer with him. Oh shift, it's about to get real. And now the horror of this series begun. I feel like it's a mix between action, horror with a sprinkle of comedy here and there. Megumi told Yoji that the object is wrapped with a protective talisman and said a line which I thought is pretty interesting. He basically said curses are poison and they are defeated by poison. That means they are fighting evil with evil. I think this sentence solely defined what this anime is all about. And curses are drawn to this object. Why? Just wait a little bit. Of course, the two idiots opened the seal, then they got tucked in the anus by all different kind of curses. This is a story of 90% of horror movies. The plot is moved by morons doing nonsense. Look, if it was me and I saw this seal, I will ran for a mile away. This stuff's scary, man. Now the action part began as Megumi arrived for the save and told Yoji to stay outside. Megumi's fighting style is to summon a bunch of curses to fight for him. I believe I saw these two wolves in Blue Exorcist. And we learned about Yoji's personality even more. That he's a reckless dumbass. And I love it. He jumped in for the save as Megumi was getting overwhelmed. This show animation is fire. I hope it stays consistent until the end. I'm really digging this art style. And to further emphasize how crazy and careless Yoji is, while he was about to get wrecked by a giant curse, well, what do you know? He ate the finger. That is disgusting. This anime is gruesome. He needed a curse energy to fight the curse, because curses can be hurt only with curse energy. And obviously the finger belongs to a terrifying curse called Sukuna. Apparently he's the strongest of the curses, of course. The curse is supposed to kill Yoji, but there is 1 in a million chance that they all get to sit on a chair that is upside down, because even if he survives, Sukuna get manifested. And what do you know, it happened. Main character with a demon power. I literally never heard of this in my entire life. Jokes aside, Jujutsu Kaisen took this concept and made it even more interesting. Here, the main character doesn't use the demon power. Instead, the demon here fights for himself, which make the consequences of using the demon power much more severe, which is a good thing in my opinion. Sukuna annihilated the curse and he had a little orgasm. However, Yoji flipped him off, suppressed him, and retook his body. After that, Megumi Sensei, Gojo, the super swag dude, I can already tell this guy's awesome. He arrived and he looked like he doesn't give a talk whatsoever. His design is super cool. He told Yoji if he can switch with Sukuna for 10 seconds, and he told him not to worry, he can take him. That is how you introduce an overpowered character. From the first scene this guy showed up, you know he's the real deal. He played with Sukuna for a bit and Yoji managed to switch back. Gojo knocks out Yoji and back to the first scene of the anime. Now we know the end goal for our hero. Is it gonna be to become a Hokage, the Wizard King, find the One Piece? Nope, he's gonna die. Gojo explained that the elders wanted to execute Yoji. However, Gojo convinced them to wait, as Yoji's body is unique and he's a vessel. So he offered him to either die now or help them find Sukuna's fingers and die later. Yoji didn't want to die, but he chose to join them anyway. I don't know how dark this series is gonna get, but my first impression, it's pretty dark. I mean, the protagonist is sentenced to death in the first 2 episodes. Gojo took Yoji to join the Jujutsu sorcerers instead of his regular high school. They met the principal. Yoji introduced himself and told him that he is into girls like Jennifer Lawrence. Okay. Right from the get-go, you have to be straightforward with your interest. The principal asked Yoji why he wanna join them. Yoji said because he wanted to fill his grandfather's wish, helping others. But you know what I think? I think he got dragged to this entire situation by accident and by his stupidity and recklessness. Why you ate that finger, you idiot? And the principal was like, don't do this for others. And he used the curse to bring the living chef out of him and told him Jujutsu sorcerers don't die without regret. Okay. Yoji gave him a speech and told him he will not regret the way he lived. The principal told Gojo to show him his dorm. Yeah, I forgot, before they went to meet the principal, Yoji asked Gojo if he can take Sukuna at his full power. And Gojo was, yeah, I can take him. This guy. Just how powerful is he? Even though I didn't see much of him yet, he's already one of my favorite characters. This also gives the viewer an idea of how strong Gojo is. Back to the dorm. Yoji's room is right next to Fushiguro. I don't know how I feel about him, however it's too early to tell. Then we got introduced to our first female fighter, Nobara. I hope you don't end up like some other female characters. I don't want to mention any names. Sakura. Nobara looks fine, but who knows how will she turns out. Let's hope for the best. Gojo decided to send them for the first mission, and he set it up to seem like they were going on a tour. Those idiots. It's time to see our characters on action. They arrived on an abandoned house full of curses. Gojo only wanted Yoji and Nobara to go in. Gojo already knew that Yoji is crazy enough to be a Jujutsu sorcerer. However, he's not sure about Nobara. I thought that was pretty interesting, as this tells the viewer that Gojo knows what kind of person Yoji is. Then Gojo gave Yoji a special knife in order to fight the curses. Inside the house, Nobara and Yoji split. I gotta say, Nobara's fighting style is unique, with the nail and the hammer. Curses start getting more and more interesting. Yeah, they are not gonna fight an endless horde of mindless monsters over and over again. The curse took a kid as a hostage. Nobara points out that curses in the city are more intelligent than curses she usually faces. She hesitated, then Yoji came in for the save. The curse almost got away, however Nobara was able to stop it using straw doll technique. She seems to have a good arsenal of skills in her disposal. They won the battle and Gojo was like, yep, she is crazy, which was really funny. And we saw some flashback about Nobara. I guess we know a little bit about Nobara's character now. Hopefully we know more about everyone in the future. They decided to go for a meal and the arcs end there. This anime is something. This was a very strong start. The animation is pretty solid. The show's setup is simple, but not in a bad way, in a good way. Characters seems interesting enough. We don't know much about them yet, but still. The way things are going, it seems it's heading on the right direction. I'm definitely intrigued from the first 3 episodes, which is pretty good. All that talk about the anime wasn't for nothing after all. From what I saw, this anime leaned to take a darker approach than other shonens. But again, let's see how things pan out. Let me know what do you think in the comment section. And if you wanna see more Jujutsu Kaisen and other awesome content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.